Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take one piece of content and really unpack it for you, find those key insights.
Exactly. And today, we're doing something maybe a little unexpected. We're looking at an English language learning story.
That's right, it's from Fabuling, B1 level. It's called Living in Harmony.
Now, you might think, okay, a language learning story, how deep can that be? But honestly, these simple narratives, they often mirror fundamental human stuff really clearly.
I agree completely. So, Living in Harmony, it introduces Jeremy. He shows up, smiling, suitcase, guitar. You immediately get a vibe, right? Maybe a bit more relaxed, creative type.
Definitely. And then moments later, Victoria arrives. Business suit, arms full of papers, busy, professional.
The contrast is, well, it's immediate.
And the initial setup is they're both meant to be in the same apartment. Total surprise for them.
Yeah, a bit of a shock. And their reactions tell you everything. Victoria's instantly worried, like, oh no, Sherry.
While Jeremy's like, hey, no problem. I'm sure we'll get along really well. That optimism versus apprehension, it just perfectly sets the stage for, well, for the conflict that's coming.
And it doesn't take long for that conflict to surface, does it? It stems directly from their lifestyles being just polar opposite.
Totally. Victoria needs her peace and quiet. She's working on business strategy.
And Jeremy, he's an aspiring musician. He plays his guitar, apparently both day and night.
Right there. That's a fundamental clash. What one person needs is exactly what drives the other one crazy.
And it's not just the noise either. There's the tidiness issue.
Oh, yeah. Jeremy likes things clean, says it helps him think, helps his creativity.
But Victoria, she's too busy, leaves clothes around, plates, you know the type. Total disorganization from his perspective.
So it's noise and mess. Different values, different priorities about their shared space. It's like a perfect storm for disagreement.
Which inevitably leads to a pretty big blow-up. Victoria really lets loose.
She does. Stop playing that awful guitar. You will never be successful. Your music sounds like a donkey fell on the strings.
Ouch. That's harsh. It's not just please be quiet, it's attacking his passion, his dream. Really personal.
It's extremely personal.
Yeah.
It targets his identity, his core aspiration. And, well, Jeremy doesn't exactly hold back either.
No, he fires right back. This house is such a mess, I can't be creative. And then he goes after her work.
You're so disorganized, your business will never have any customers.
Yeah.
Even if someone gave you some money, you'd lose it under all these clothes.
So he hits her right where it hurts too, her professional life, her competence.
Exactly. It's that classic conflict escalation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Starts with noise and mess, ends with attacking each other's fundamental selves.
And then the physical reaction, both storm off to their rooms, slam the doors, communication just completely breaks down.
Yep. Total breakdown. And their solution, let's just move out tomorrow. It shows they see no way forward initially.
But then the story shifts a bit, doesn't it, that following week?
Right. This is where it gets really interesting. They're packing, but in silence. The story says the mood was very strange.
That silence, after all the shouting, it feels significant.
It does. And there are these tiny behavioral shifts. Jeremy doesn't play his guitar. Maybe out of spite. Maybe something else. To avoid more anger.
Could be. And Victoria, she actually starts clearing up her plates after eating, directly addressing his complaint.
These little actions, they're subtle. It's like, even though they're furious and planning to leave, they've somehow influenced each other, absorbed the criticisms on some level.
It makes you think, about how we affect people even in negative situations, even when we're not trying to.
Precisely. Maybe learning or adapting happens even when things feel like they've failed. Then comes the departure itself.
Yeah, that moment when Jeremy gives Victoria her sock back with a little smile, it's kind of tender almost after everything.
It is surprisingly gentle. And her response, that shy, oh, thanks, and the awkward goodbyes.
Well, goodbye, bye.
You can feel the unresolved stuff hanging in the air.
Definitely. But the real emotional payoff, I think, happens right after.
Right. Jeremy's alone, and he immediately picks up his guitar and sings this song. The lyrics are all about her leaving. She came into my life. Now she's gone away. And even wishing her success.
When she achieves her dream, I won't be there to see her smile. There's real regret there, isn't there? Maybe a connection he didn't fully realize.
I think so. It suggests something deeper than just annoyance. And then the final twist.
Victoria comes back, quietly.
And she starts singing too. Out of tune, but singing lyrics that echo his song and her own feelings.
I said some awful things, I didn't mean them at all. It's a direct admission.
And then, I thought I wanted silence, but I keep singing his songs. Wow, That reveals such an internal turnaround.
She thought the music, his presence, was the problem, but now the silence feels wrong. She misses it, or maybe him.
It's a powerful moment of self-realization for both of them, really.
Right.
They recognize something they lost, or something valuable they didn't appreciate at the time.
So stepping back, what this seemingly simple story shows us, quite beautifully, I think, is how these differences in lifestyle and personality, they do lead to conflict. That's almost unavoidable sometimes.
Absolutely. But it also shows that even those difficult, maybe even failed interactions can spark self-reflection. They can lead to a kind of growth.
Yeah, a subtle influence. They didn't end up living in harmony, not in the conventional sense.
Not at all. But they both seem to have learned something, gained some awareness, maybe about themselves, maybe about what they actually value.
It's that quiet aha moment, like you said. The situation itself was a bit of a mess, a failure even, but growth happened anyway.
Jeremy might be a bit more considerate next time, perhaps. And Victoria learned that maybe constant quiet isn't the only thing she needs. Maybe that human element, even a sometimes annoying one, matters.
And for you listening, this probably resonates, right? We've all had experiences like this, maybe not flatmates, but colleagues, family, friends, people who just operate differently.
Definitely. Whether it's sharing an office, working on a team project, or just, navigating daily life. This story kind of highlights how important it is to try and see other perspectives.
And it shows how we impact each other in ways we might not even notice at the time.
Yeah, those subtle undercurrents.
So maybe here's a final thought to leave you with. Think about a time you had significant conflict with someone very different from you, someone with a totally different approach.
Looking back now, even if it didn't end perfectly, even if it was messy, what did you learn? About them, sure, but maybe more importantly about yourself.
Could there have been some unexpected growth tucked away in all that tension, something that only became clear later on?
It's worth considering. Sometimes the most difficult situations teach us the most.
Definitely something to mull over. Thanks for diving deep with us today.